Welcome back to Las Vegas. It's Alex Belfield here at Celebrity Radio, bringing you the biggest and the best shows and the biggest stars. And there are two people in Las Vegas that I see everywhere. They're the masters of PR. They're hugely talented and very successful here in Las Vegas. Murray, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me on your show.
Hey, nice to talk to you. And Chloe, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
You are delicious, by the way. Did you ever see an uglier guy than me, by the way?
Well, you're British, so that's one tick for you. So that's good.
There you go. I saw you the other night at a showroom. We'll talk about that. And yesterday I saw you, Murray. I mean, you guys are all over town. You have many jobs. And I think that is the key to success here in Las Vegas. If you sit on your laurels and you presume people are going to come and you can just stay at home and enjoy the pool, you're going to fail.
You're in for a huge shock. You know, that's the thing with Vegas. When you're not Elton John or you're not a legend yet, you definitely got to do all the tricks in the trade to get people to come and see you. And it's great that you have awards and you've done reality TV, like I've done all this stuff, but you still need, and like Chloe, she's been in Sports Illustrated and Playboy and all these other magazines, and it's great, but you still got to go the extra mile because you're in the mecca of entertainment. You're not in the middle in the sticks or somewhere in the forest where you're the only game in town. You're one of the games of 27 to 127 shows, you know, so it's a lot of work.
Again, I saw you yesterday, and I first got to see you via YouTube when you did America's Got Talent. It's a great place for someone like you to be discovered to then come and do this show. Without that profile, it's tough.
Yeah, you know, when you have a presence, it does help. And with America's Got Talent, what that gave me, and people don't realize that with 22 million people watching, it's kind of hard to understand because that's a lot of people. And you don't realize when people go home from work, they watch TV. I don't. I watch an hour a month, you know, but for most of America, they do. And it does pay off for a live entertainer like myself. Even Chloe, you know, she's done 2 or 3 TV shows from Top Gear, USA to Home and Family and Hallmark and that, and she gets recognized now because it really helps.
We've got to admit that you and I are both in the entertainment industry, but we're never going to be as successful as Chloe because let's face it, if you're hot, if you're beautiful, and if you're talented, you're going to have far more Twitter followers than you and I are ever going to get.
Agreed.
It helps, I guess. It helps. I haven't been in Vegas long. I've only been here a couple of years, and I really try to make the most of that and just get out there and do everything I can. And Vegas is definitely a town for women. There's so many more women here than men, and you know, if you really make the most of it and do it in the right way, you can do really well in Vegas.
Yesterday I was at a show and I sat next to a girl and I said, "Hello, how are you?" She said, "I'm fine." She said, "I came in yesterday." She said, "You know, I was sat in the Cosmopolitan having dinner and this guy came over and said, 'What are you doing tomorrow night? Bring 8 friends, we'll comp your dinner, we'll take care of the drinks and we'll pay for you to go in a nightclub.'" She didn't spend 1 cent. How does this town make money if everybody who's hot's being comped?
Well, it's all about the appearance, isn't it? Because they're bringing a certain amount of girls, and then the guys see them going, and and they hang out at the pool or whatever, and then they go, "Oh, where are you going tonight?" "Oh, I'm going to Cosmopolitan." "No, I'm going to the Trop," or "I'm wherever," and all the guys turn up and they spend money.
And I know one of the biggest parts of your job is to be seen. I mean, people will pay you to turn up at a pool to talk to people and to look gorgeous, as you do naturally. It's amazing how people will treat you if you look like you. Nobody's paying me to sit by a pool. Let's face it, Murray.
You're right. It's true.
What do you mean you're right? You could deny it.
Yeah, I could deny it, but let's, hey, this is truth, isn't it? And it's true. Like you and this town is built for women in the sense that it really helps because there's so many jobs for it and it drives money. It's like fishing. You got to put a worm on a hook to catch a fish. Or a lure. A shiny lure always works. And the women in this town are the shiny lures, and that's really what works. And it works so much. I'm thinking about getting a boob job. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm thinking about getting a boob job. It might help. You never know. You never know.
Do you think this could be my move to success? What do you think?
It just might. You never know. You sure get you get some press off it. I'm telling you that much.
It can't hurt, can it?
I know. Yeah.
Chloe, tell us about you. I mean, you've arrived here in Vegas, and you are literally one of the biggest stars here. Everybody's heard of you. Your background, where are you from? I mean, that's no Vegas accent.
It definitely isn't. I'm from Portsmouth, England, which is near London, for anyone that has no idea where Portsmouth is. I've been here just over 2 years now, and I was very lucky when I came to town. I came here, obviously Murray and I were doing his show straight away, which was great, and then I auditioned for a few other shows in town and ended up going with Fantasy at the Luxor, which is a great show. They really showcase the girls, and you have your own kind of... Everyone's so different, so you really do stand out, even though you're on stage with so many other women. So that was great. Then I got the chance to do Sports Illustrated last year, and I'm doing a lot of stuff with Playboy. So yeah, it's been a crazy 2 years. I forget it's only been 2 years. I'm still pretty new here, so Still learning.
And let's talk about her as if she's not here. I mean, you're incredibly petite and gorgeous. That's kind of the look they want, don't they? They're not into the 300-pound ladies.
No, 290 and below, not 300, you know? No, it's true. You know, that's the thing. We always love what's appealing on stage. And when you are a performer on stage, let's be honest, you know, you got to look your best. You're being judged the minute you hit the stage, you know, whether you're fat, you're bald, you're thin, you're too fat. And it's true. A lot of people, that's the way it works in our business. And if you aren't that attractive and you still want to be on stage, generally you lean towards the comedy or the improv acting, and nothing's wrong with that. Or you go to Broadway or the West End, you know, because you can be extremely talented. You don't have to be gorgeous to be in those types of productions, because they're life, aren't they? But when you're in Vegas and you want to be in a show like ours, the attractiveness helps. And if you're not, be an accountant. You know, what the hell? Why not, right?
Exactly. So, and thank God for comedy and for magic, because I mean, you look a bit peculiar. I'm deeply unattractive, and we've found our place in show business. I mean, that's a good thing. We've all got our own thing going on. It's lucky.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. And you got to find who you are. You got to look in the mirror and be honest to yourself. And you really do. And if you can play to your strengths, that's how you succeed in Las Vegas. I think that's how you succeed in any business. You play to your strengths. You know what I mean? So it works for all of us.
Yesterday I sat in this booth and watched you do your show, and it was so comforting to see someone so comfortable on stage. You've got a line for everything. You've got a gag for everything. If the magic goes wrong, it really wouldn't matter. Almost the magic is irrelevant to your show. It's all about you. When did you arrive at that point on stage where you felt like nothing could go wrong?
Well, that probably was the last 5 years of my career. You know, I've been doing this for just over 30 years now, and I think it was probably the last 5 years, because you do stuff so many times. And there's a saying, if you've done something 1,000 times, then you should kind of know what you're doing. If you don't, then it's time to change, you know. And also what made me go comedy-wise more is years ago in the early 2000s, there was a very famous singer on American Idol called William Hung. The whole world knew who he was. I think you've probably heard of him in the UK and everywhere else. And he was talentless, but he was on the show for like half the season, and he sang the song She Bangs, She Bangs, and it went viral. And when I saw that, I went, the guy has no talent. He's more famous than me, and he's making $30,000 a corporate show. I'm doing something wrong. And that's when I changed my whole outlook on magic, being just a magician, and going into comedy, being more of a personality and selling me. That way, no one else can be me but me.
It's fascinating, those shows. We have Britain's Got Talent. In fact, we invented it, then it was America's Got Talent. Those shows are incredible, that you can either be the freak that makes the money or the talent that makes the money. There's nothing in between. If you're very good, you ain't going to survive. You've got to be sort of one way or the other. You're neither of that in a way, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, you're not ridiculous. That's the thing about it. I mean, nobody's laughing at you. You do what you do very well. But you look strange, and that's partly because of the hair. Without that, you just look average. Now, how much work goes into this, Murray?
It probably, you know, it's funny. I probably put more work into my hair than Chloe does into hers. I mean, honest to God. And people think I wake up and look like this, and I wish. But it really is, you know, it's a very conscious decision. And the glasses, I do need glasses to see from a distance. But people who were around me said, you know, at Halloween I did my hair like this, and it kind of looked cool, and it worked. And somebody said, well, you know, if it worked for Halloween, it should work every day, because it's really a brand. And then my glasses, my optometrist, who used to be a very dear friend of mine in Florida, said, we got really thick frames. Why don't you make it really a part of your character than just using them to see? And I said, let's go for it. And you know, Ronald McDonald has never changed his look for years. I thought, you know what, I can be the magic Ronald McDonald. Why not? And it works. So.
And again, if you Google Murray, I mean, you come up straight away, and you're both seen in a lot of places. We should address the fact you got the girl. There's something about you. Congratulations, Murray. If you don't mind me saying, you're punching way above your weight, if you don't mind.
Thank you. And you're correct. You're 100% correct. And just don't let her know, okay? Just do not let Chloe know. Say.
Why Murray then? What was it? Was it personality? Was it humor? Was it the magic?
I think it was the hair. No, we met, what, 7 years ago now? 8? Oh, a long time ago. And we met, and I was asked to work with him as his assistant. I'd never met him, and I thought, oh, it'd be fun to, you know, do some magic. I had never done that before. And I met him, and I was like, oh, this isn't what I expected from a magician. He had like this leather jacket on, the hair was out, and these black glasses, and I was like, oh. And
I had a big personality. I had a big personality.
Huge, I hear.
Huge personality.
Enormous, whopping.
Massive personality.
So yeah, and we started working together. And
girls don't like those jokes, do they?
I know. But I'm married to her, so she can't go far. So go on, Chloe.
Anyway, so and we started doing the show together, and we hung out as friends, and we really just clicked straight away. We really got on well, and yeah, Murray was different to anyone I'd met at home, and I think, that was appealing for sure.
Really, the truth is she lost a bet. She ended up with me, and that's what happened, So.
Well, congratulations. You look so cute together. And, of course, when we look at you on stage, it must be fascinating for you, Maury, to see what you're married to in that environment of fantasy, because the lighting, the sound, what they get you to do on stage is so clever. And I always try and say to people, these shows aren't creepy. It's an art form here. It's a craft. It's something that you can't just be cute and stand on stage. In fact, I did see one of those shows the other day. I'll tell you which one afterwards. It's not enough, is it? You've got to sort of, A, be an amazing dancer, and B, have a character and a personality on stage. When did you find out that you could do that?
I've been dancing since I was 5, which is a very long time now, and that's all I ever wanted to do. Not this type of show, but I started in ballet and tap and stuff, and then you kind of just go on from there. So all the girls in the show are professional dancers, and you need to be able to dance. You can't just stand there and look pretty. That lasts for 5 minutes, and people are like, okay, what's next? So what's great about fantasy also is everyone has a different look. You got brunette, redhead, blonde, bigger girls, not big but curvy, implants, non-implants. It's a bit of everything, which really works. I don't think there's any other show in town that really is like that and has, such a variety of women. And it's a great show. It's great production too. We have a great stage to work on. Everyone loves, great lighting. We all, have those bad days when we feel not so attractive, so the lighting always helps.
I want to talk to you about that, because I'm a guy who fakes this for a living. I don't know about you. Some days I stand there, I don't know quite how I do it or what I do, and I don't try and think about that too much. But certainly I couldn't go on without a jacket, for example. I have a thing about, I don't want to see my arms because they're deeply unattractive. I don't want to show my legs because they're fat. I certainly don't want anybody seeing my stomach. How do you cope with that you are revealed on stage? You're the most vulnerable you could possibly be.
Well, yeah, it's, you see pretty much everything-ish. We keep things you don't need to see. I leave that to Murray. But yeah, it's, you just kind of, I don't know, you just kind of get used to it. And you realize, when you do watch this show, the audience is pretty, they can see everything, but they're, away from you, there is a divide. You're not, and when we're in the audience, we're always very well dressed. It's not anything that anyone would feel uncomfortable about. And this show is very sexy. We are topless, but it's classy. You're not doing anything raunchy or anything, it's very well done.
I've got a feeling you're probably the same. I mean, you come on in this lovely suit and it changes throughout the show. I mean, we're not guys that stand on stage naked. There's an interesting psychology of confidence there that I certainly wouldn't have. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. When you come on stage, you got to own it. And you have to come on stage and being confident, no matter what you are, whether it's a burlesque show or whether you're in a ridiculous suit that I wear, I would never wear outside the door.
Don't put yourself down. It wasn't ridiculous. It was interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Curious.
Well, any electric blue suit you walk down the street, you could be in trouble, But that's a signature brand and it works. And it's one of those things even like Pee Wee Herman, it's for TV and set. And when he's at home, he's wearing a baseball cap and jeans. So you'd have to have a certain amount of personality, or you have to confidence to walk on stage. And people always talk to me about this being burlesque in Vegas or a topless show or an exotic show. Is it weird? Is it strange? But all of our friends are in these shows. So we'll all go for drinks. It's like, is it weird you've seen her friend in this? It isn't. In Oklahoma, it is. Yes, in the middle of Iowa, it is. And I'm sure
Portsmouth, it is.
Exactly. But here, because it's the way it works in Vegas, and it's an art form, you're right, and it's classy, it's accepted, so it's a different ballgame, so.
You don't go out, when we go to see shows that are topless, you don't go out and go, oh, they're topless, especially when we know them, you don't go, oh, so-and-so's not got top on. It's not like that. It's just normal. And it's different. It's like they're a different person when they're on stage.
And again, without sounding creepy, I never found those shows erotic. Maybe that says more about me. It's not like that. You have to see them. It is sort of a dance show. It's a Vegas thing. It's a showgirl thing. Yeah. I'm not coming in to be titillated. This ain't no titty bar, is it?
Mm-hmm. No, it definitely is not. And it is very classy. And, once, it's all exciting the first time we take our top off, and then everyone's like, okay. It's just,
you have a lot of couples that come into the show. That's the great thing about these shows. You know, a lot of people, if you fly in, I think, you go, oh, I don't know if my wife would want me to go see that, or vice versa. And if you actually do go and see the show has a great singer in it. You know, they have really classy numbers. And once you get over the fact, and it takes maybe 30 seconds, you go, oh, they're topless. They're just a beautiful person on stage. And there's no threat. It's really a fun, enjoyable show, a little adult, something fun to go home and talk about later. And there's a great comedian as well. So it's a really all-around show. You have a lot of couples in your show, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's mainly couples, and then, you know, we do get the odd bachelor party and something like that. And yeah, everyone's really chill, and we meet the audience after the show to take pictures and sign our calendars and stuff. And, you know, everyone's really nice. It's not, you know, you get the odd person that's like, oh, they don't want to like put their arms around you to take a picture, and it's kind of like they don't want to feel awkward. But, you know, it's pretty chill, and it's a fun show. It's great for couples, great for just guys. We get, you know, some women that come in for their bachelorette parties. You know, not everyone wants to go see half-naked men on there, you know.
Certainly I don't. I went to see, in fact, I interviewed a Chippendale last night. I've never felt so inadequate in my entire life.
Yeah, they live at the gym, don't they?
You know what? I came away and I thought, I'm glad I'm me, because this guy was telling me his routine and his schedule. I'm sure you're not like this, but this guy has to wake up in the morning and plow so much food into him. It's miserable. I'm the other way. I have to stop myself eating because I don't want to be 700 pounds. But it's like this regime of 4 hours in the gym. I haven't got time for that.
It's true. You know, it is a lot of work because their job is their body. 100%. I mean, especially with a male review show, most of the time it's not about a personality. It is about what they look like, whether it be Chippendales or Thunder from Down Under. The great thing about Thunder from Down Under, they have an accent. And of course, in America, we all love that, as you know. We all love that because it's just unique and it's different to us. So that helps a lot. But at the end of the day, it is just a look thing. And their dancing isn't that great either, so it is a look thing. Whereas in fantasy, it is about the dance. It is about the art. There's a silk act. There's a singer. There's a comedian. So you do have to be in shape, but it's not all about just that. It's about the danceability and all the other stuff, if that's even a word, so.
I did ask if I could have a small part in the show, and they couldn't find room for me, so it's rather disappointing. Very finally, your life here in Las Vegas, it seems like you've got it made. You're not putting your eggs in one basket. You guys have a lot going on. Certainly yesterday, I mean, you weren't in the show, you were doing something else, then you're at Fantasy, then you're here, Murray, you're all over the place. It's a town about that. Keep working, and you'll survive.
Definitely spreading my eggs around for sure. But yeah.
I'd put that on a poster.
I know, right? Exactly, right?
Chloe, spreading her eggs around Vegas.
Yeah. That's my bumper sticker. But yesterday I hosted a pool party. They asked me to come in and host, and I brought in a lot of friends. So yeah, I took one day off from Murray's show, which I don't do very often. But yeah, you've got to do a little bit of everything, and that really helps me build my brand and get my face out there. Because for a while it was Murray's wife. I'm in Murray's show. I'm a girl in fantasy, so I kind of am trying to, do my own thing as well as do things together. So, and when I'm promoting myself, I'm obviously promoting Murray and vice versa. So it works for everyone.
What I love about you, and I don't want to sound creepy, you are married, but you're not doing this sort of stick-thin thing. You're obviously very slim.
You're saying I look chubby?
No, I wouldn't dream of it. But you're not doing this over makeup thing. I don't know why this is so popular. The Essex girls right now, you see it. We have a thing called Towie in England, this new reality show.
I used to watch Towie.
But it makes me cringe because who wants that? It's the old thing, isn't it? About you might want to screw it, but you don't want to marry it. You're going for that sort of innocent girl look, and thank God we need more girls like you that actually look like you look.
I try, yeah. I don't like over photoshopping stuff because I don't want to, if I do an event and they see the poster and then they come and they're like, I don't know who you are you that person? I'm like, that doesn't do well for me at all.
Mind you, Murray, you've got to admit, in this town there's a lot of people whose poster looks nothing like the person on stage.
Isn't that the truth though? You're like, you see some woman on a poster, oh my God, looks so hot. Then you go and watch her on stage and she comes on a walker. You're like, wait a minute, that does not look like the same person.
Not just the women, there's the odd magician as well.
Tell me about it. Oh yeah, there's a lot. It's true. You see a lot of guys and you sit back and go, wow, that's a poster from 1983.
Right.
And then you go, wow, this is not 83 anymore, So yeah, there's a lot of people that do that, and you have to be careful. It depends. You do want to look good in your photos. You do want some good ads, and you do want to come close to what you look like on stage. But then, of course, you want an ad to be appealing. So there is a fine balance. You know what I mean? And you're right. You really don't want to cheat the audience.
Certainly for you, there's no hiding behind a baseball cap. You look like you look, and that's the way it is. Congratulations on your show. It's inspired to see somebody who knows exactly what they're doing and is so confident. And as for you, Chloe, you're delicious, you're gorgeous, you're talented, and that's what's nice. You're not just this girl who's looking cute, which there are millions of in this town. You've got an act, you've got a personality, and you've got a Twitter account, which is?
I do. It's at Chloe L. Crawford. So come follow me. And I'm on Facebook too, Instagram, and Google+.
Oh, very good. I'm not on Google+. Are you Plus?
Right now, no, I can't get into all that, but I've got a couple of things. You can find me at Murray Sawchuck. That's my last name, Sawchuck, just as it sounds. You can find me on Twitter and on Facebook. And, of course, my website's murraymagic.com. And
I have a new website too. It just came out this year. Sorry.
Go on.
ChloeLouiseCrawford.com.
Very nice. I mean, people say to me, are you on Instagram? No. Who wants to see pictures of me? I bet you're on Instagram.
I am. Instagram I'm a little slow with, though. But everyone posts on there for me, so I can get away with not doing it so much.
They do the work for you. Guys, really lovely to see you, Murray and Chloe. Thank you for your time.
Hey, thank you, Alex.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. And come back anytime. You're always a guest.